Big fight. We have a date for this one, Chris. We have a date. We have a venue. Showtime pay-per-view. Caleb Plant-David Benavidez. Holy shit. Great fight. 168 pounders. One of the top five fights you can make. Love it. Really good fight at 168. Makes all the sense in the world. These two have been circling each other for a long time. They do not like each other. That's always a great part of the build-up to the fight. Inside the ring, you got the brawling, offensive mastermind of David Benavidez versus slick jab move. Newfound power for Caleb Plant. A lot on the line in this fight. A winner gets right back into the Canelo stakes. I'm just happy to see we have a date for it, and I'm happy that it's somewhat soon, March 25th. Plant Benavidez.
Love this fight. So another fight that we've been talking about a lot. Hey, Dan, you're pretty good at this. You're putting this in order of how excited we are about the matchups.
I know how to plan a show.
I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing here. I like that. But yeah, this is one of those fights, and really, I mean, it's the third in the line of these great fights. But that's the thing; these fights are so great. Like, we have been talking till we're blue in the face about Inoue and Fulton, hoping that, and it came out of nowhere. Tank and Ryan is just a massive event. But this is a great fight that makes sense. It makes total sense for these guys to be fighting right now, and we rarely see that in boxing. And I'll tell you this fight's going to happen. I'm very optimistic about this fight coming together because both these guys are hungry. We have a date. Both these guys are working like guys. They're going to go out there. They're reliable. But yeah, I think stylistically, this is such a cool matchup because, I mean, Caleb Plant got great legs, great jab, super slick, and has all the skills in the world to win this fight. And you're going to need him in order to beat Benavidez. But Benavidez is just such a beast. He is chaos in the ring. He's coming forward. He throws tons of punches. You're the numbers guy. You'll go over that, I'm sure.
I got plenty of them.
But he's got power. He's durable. He takes a punch really well, and his conditioning is off the charts. So I mean, this is just an awesome fight, and it's one of those ones it's a can't miss good fight.
Yeah, Benavidez lands 38% of his total punches. That's number one in boxing. Number one. He's the most accurate puncher.
Wow.
Ranks number 3 in power connect rate, 46.3. That's number 3. It's only behind Tank and Lomachenko. He's number 4 in punches landed per round. He's top 5 in jabs landed per round. Those are all the punches you can possibly throw in a fight. The thing with Benavidez is, I mean, if we had more metrics, he would probably be at the top of it. But the thing with Benavidez is he has these numbers, and they're very impressive, and you can only fight who's in front of you. But it's just like the level of competition that he's fought. It's not been up to some of the other names on these lists, and it lacks a little depth. And that's going to change, though, now when he fights Caleb Plant. It's going to be the best opponent that Benavidez has ever faced. For Plant, I mean, he's faced Canelo. Doesn't get any better than that. Top 5 pound for pound guy. The new power of Plant is a new wrinkle to this fight. Obviously, knocking Durrell out, arguably knockout of the year. You have Benavidez side of the camp, kind of floating out PED stuff. Breadman Edwards, who's now the trainer of Plant, had to dispel that. That's always like I feel like that could be like a compliment, right? It's like, oh, you can't, like, you knocking guys out now, you must be on PEDs, Caleb. Like, I hate when they bring that shit up, because I think Gervonta Davis was doing that with Ryan Garcia too.
Yeah, I mean, it happened to me too when I was undefeated, and I never got tired. So it was like, guys, got to be on PEDs, and I got asked that a lot. I know a couple of my opponents had brought that up early on, but yeah,
on PEDs, you're on avocado, bro.
That's right. I'm on perfect nutrition and lots of sleep.
Damn
but
right.
I think Plant, I don't know if it's newfound power. Yeah, Durrell's been durable in the past, but Durrell was 38 years old. It's different.
Perfect shot.
He wasn't. Yeah, perfect shot. It only takes one punch in this sport, no matter who you are. And it was a beautiful shot. It was a double left hook, body, head, boom. They were throwing at the same time. It was a head-on collision, perfect shot on the chin. And like I said, 38-year-old brains don't take the punches the same way that 28-year-old brains do. So it's just, I don't know. I think the market's still out on whether Plant is a true boxer puncher now or just a boxer. But I don't think the power is going to be that really play a part in this one as much anyway, in this fight anyway, because he's not going to go power for power with Benavidez. Benavidez just throws so many punches. He just has to box smart. He has to use his legs. Power always matters, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to be that type of fight.
Yeah, I can see two things happening here. I can see Plant kind of outboxing Benavidez and making him miss and kind of making him look foolish in there, which I don't think that's going to be the case, but that's how I see Plant winning. Or Benavidez just like wears him down and just stops him late, similar to the Canelo Plant fight.
Yeah, I see both. I think those both scenarios, I see them both happening. I see Plant outboxing Benavidez early and looking like he's going to be the new man, and then him starting to fall apart at the seams as Benavidez really turns up the heat, similar to the Canelo fight, and either gets stopped later or loses a decision.
Yeah, Plant has the best defense at 168. Gets hit with the least amount of punches. Benavidez.
I want you to look this up though, since you're the numbers guy. I want you to look up.
I have to charge you for this.
Plant. Yeah, it's fine. I got my checkbook out. The Plant fights. I want to know how his defense is in the last 6 rounds versus the first 6 rounds.
You want to see Plant's output?
Everything. His numbers for the last 6, regardless of what he did in the first 6.
Right.
Because I've seen him in the Uzakate fight, for example. He's cruising through. Uzakate looks like he's going to stop him, drops him twice. It's in total control. Uzakate battles back in the end. Plant got hit a lot, was surviving toward the end of the fight. The Canelo fight started out great, was being very, very competitive, fell apart at the seams and then obviously got stopped late. So that's I think the second half of this fight is really where this fight is going to be won or lost.
Yeah, I'll be interested. I'm going to look that up. So now you piqued my interest of seeing like if this volume go down, like does the opponent punch percentage go up? I mean, it probably does. I mean, usually the stats, what you see with your eyes is usually the stats how it was always intended, right? It was to watch the fight and then look at the stats after, look at the stats as you go as like a guide. But that would not shock me if the numbers backed up. What we've seen from Plant is it's just running out of steam, or that defense can't hold up. Like his power can't keep guys off of him. That's what happened with Canelo. Like I don't think Canelo respected anything that Plant was throwing his way. But Plant was fresh for the first 6 rounds, and he was moving around there, and his style was a little tricky for Canelo, and then Canelo just started hammering away. I mean, we'll see if Benavidez can do the same thing, and that's what makes this fight really fun. Not only that, the build-up is going to be crazy. Like Plant gets like crazy numbers. Like anytime you put Plant, like he's got a big following. Even like the digging of the grave thing, which I thought was stupid, it like blew up on like everywhere. It had like 12 million views on Twitter, and he draws. Like he's a ticket seller, and he's also a people tune in for his fights. That Canelo fight did big numbers, so I think this will be a big one for Showtime. And that's good. We need big numbers and big viewers. But that
he's always got drama around him. So like even with the Canelo fight, like they got into that scuffle at the press conference, and he got slapped and broke his glasses and cut his face. Like Plant's got a cloud of drama around him, and people love that, especially in the social media world.
He knows how to sell a fight too. Like I remember I went to I think it was like a Pacquiao Thurman press conference, and Plant was fighting Mike Lee, the Subway guy.
Yeah.
Is that his name, Mike Lee?
Mike,
something like that.
Was it? Yeah, I think it is Mike Lee.
Mike
nice
Lee
guy.
I know.
Not a great fighter.
Very nice.
Not
guy.
a great boxer.
Well, very made the most of his situation. Subway guy somehow got a fight on regular Fox against Caleb Plant. But Caleb Plant went up there and he delivered like this like promo that was straight out of WWE. That like I was like, damn, like this guy can talk. Like he has a lot of like self-confidence and a lot of self-belief. And I think that comes from like where he grew up, and like grew up with pretty much nothing, like Tennessee, like like had a really rough, I think lost his mother, lost his daughter, been through some stuff. Probably doubted a lot along the way as a white guy in boxing. I'm sure you can attest to as well. So he's got like that chip on his shoulder, which I like. Rubs some people the wrong way, but I mean that sells in boxing. Like you either tune in to watch him get knocked out like with Canelo, or you're going to tune in and see him overcome and defy the odds. I love that. That's it. That's all I got to say about that. First half, Chris, of boxing. Fury Usyk, looking like that's going to happen. Wilder Ruiz, which they have Wilder's camp saying that Ruiz is next. Like that's gonna happen. Tank Ryan, we just talked about, penciling that one in. Haney Loma, May 20th, reported that last week. Happening. Plant Benavidez, happening. Inouye Fulton, happening. That right there is a massive first half of 2023. Massive. Those are big, meaningful fights with names that fans want to see, matchups that fans want to see. Good betting odds on these fights. No real massive one-sided fights here. Like that right there is what can get boxing fans excited. That right there can make the upcoming February boxing schedule, if not looking great, it could hold us over because we know down the line we're seeing mega fights.
Yeah, I'll take a month off if I got all that shrink. Because listen, when a lot of good fights, a lot of good weekends, that's exhausting. We, especially guys like us, man. Have to cover it. Yeah, we got to cover it day to day, a couple times a week, and also we're fans on top of people who work in this industry. So it's we get it, we get racked over the coals when there's a lot of good fights. So we'll take February to get in shape, right? We'll be training.
February, start booking some guests. Want to do some guest interviews?
We always do guest interviews.
We haven't done that yet.
Bring our friends on.
Yeah, we haven't done that yet. We haven't got someone on the show where we're both grilling them. I think that would be kind of cool. February, yeah, we'll get creative. There are some fights in February. Lara and Wood. The all women's card February 4th. There are some good ones, but it doesn't.
Those are good fights.
Right, we'll definitely talk about them. We'll definitely preview them. But I do want to bring the best possible show every single week. So there are some good fights coming up.